Yo, what's up guys? I'm Hui and welcome to the first installment of A Clear Headspace, where I clear my headspace and talk about things like filmmaking, photography, business, and just life in general. And it's going to be just me talking, just conversationally. I don't even know if that's a word, but and just kind of talking about everything within my life that's happening through the lens of mental health and mind space and mindset. And I'm not gonna be here and pretend like I'm the most woke or spiritual or peaceful person. I'm actually not, but I think this is gonna be, or I expect this to be pretty therapeutic, and I'm excited to reflect on this 100 episodes in and see how much of an impact this has on you, and more importantly on me. And I say more importantly because you gotta take care of number one. So we're just gonna vibe out and have a good time, and this is definitely long overdue. But let's jump into it. Let's just get right into it without any hesitation, because I've been hesitating for too long. I've been trying to, like I said, do this for a very long time, and a lot of overthinking can stop you from ever starting, and I think starting is the hardest part. So we're just gonna start. We're just gonna jump into it. So today we're gonna talk about, give you kind of a background on where I've been since 2015, and the reason why is because in 2015 I started my YouTube channel. I think I started it before then, but that was when I really started taking it seriously and posting more consistently. And that's, if anything, one of the regrets I have is not keeping that up. But other things got in the way, which I had to shift my focus and my priorities, which we'll get into. The next topic is how fragile life is. A lot of these episodes I'm going to be talking about what's really going on in my life right now. So that is a topic that I've really been thinking a lot about. And lastly, how I feel about professionalism. So, jumping into the first topic. In 2015, I started my YouTube channel. At the time, I wanted to be a trainer, and I thought that making videos was cool. It was fun. I was watching, all the YouTubers in the fitness space kind of do that thing, and I wanted to be a part of that, and I had fun doing it. So I started my YouTube channel, and it really got me comfortable in the gym, like filming myself, getting weird looks. I didn't have a lot of friends going into college, so I actually knew nobody from my high school going into college. I knew a few people, but we weren't really tight. And so really I just put all of my focus into creating YouTube videos. And I've never been good at school, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But I started making YouTube videos, thought I wanted to be a personal trainer, was having fun. I think I was doing that for about a year, and within that year I realized that I'm just way more passionate about creating things. And so the personal trainer route and studying and taking a test, right? Like, I suck at school, so how am I going to do that? I decided to start my own business, or my first business, which was Exceed, clothing brand, and I did that for 5 years. And we'll get to the later part of where that's at right now. But I picked up my first camera, my first professional camera, Sony A7S1. I opened a credit card, got the camera, and YouTube kind of took a back seat because I started to learn printing, designing, manufacturing, shipping, all that stuff while still attending university. And at that time, things started to gain momentum. I started working with models, and social media was starting to grow, and one thing led to another, where I realized I could make money creating content for businesses. I had actual other brands and businesses reach out to me, and I actually had incentive to pay off my camera within that first year because I opened my first credit card. So in doing that, I kind of helped my friend start his agency. We were pitching clients, and we started at like $50, $100, $200, $250, $300, and kind of just worked our way up to a price that was pretty mind-blowing for me in college at the time. And I didn't realize that I could make a decent amount of money making videos for people. But that started taking off heavy, and I started feeling so pulled into the business, the agency, that I wasn't giving my business the love and attention that it needed. So I had to leave. I went home. I graduated school. This is very long story short, by the way. Like, I also worked at another agency in school as well as a project manager there, and then went over to lead the audiovisual team. And then, anyway, just going to skip to the part where I graduated, moved home. Excuse me, I'm going to sip this tea because my voice is feeling a little raspy. I was sick last week. But moved home, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to work at a corporate job. Like, I want to do manual labor, because I'm going to have more, like, I was thinking about like my mental health. I was like, I'm going to have more space in my head to focus on my business, because I'm not going to be working a job that requires me to like be stressed and like think so much, right? Totally bad idea. That was the first time I realized how important the people around you are. And I always knew that because you always see that everywhere, but I really figured that out, because nothing against blue collar workers. Like, we need that. I have so much respect for people that do that. Like, for real, I have so much respect for people that work manual labor jobs. Like, both my parents work manual labor jobs, right? But there's a lot of people that are complacent and toxic and have bad habits, and they can bring you down. And so I felt that, and so I went on to work at my first real large agency, around 300 people, and I was doing paid social, and I knew that I wanted to get into content. Like, I knew this. Like, I was hired on to do like out-of-home billboards. Like, I was on Google Maps for 8 hours a day, driving through maps in different parts of the country, screenshotting billboards and putting that into an Excel and putting that into a deck. And like, that was literally what I did for 2 months. Worked my way onto the social team, started running paid social for Walmart and other big brands, Under Armour, Dick's Sporting Goods, and kind of just got to dabble and like get the feel of like a large agency and working on a dope team. And that was some of the best times in my life. But then recently, fast forward through all that, I was there for 2 years, and at the same time pushing Exceed, shooting every day. Like, I would commute an hour to the agency because I was living at home saving money, which is funny because like, you got Asian parents, you live at home, like, you're paying rent, right? So I'm like trying to save money. I'm not making that much, and I'm just like putting all of my chips into Exceed. And at the time, I was also like, I was getting out of that rut of the manual labor job and just like losing my team at that previous agency with my friend, moving back home, living in the basement, right? Like, I'm getting a phone call right now. That's rude. I don't like phone calls from people I don't know. But yeah, like an hour commute, bringing all my stuff, like all my gear, clothes, like inventory, right? Setting up shoots with models, and then like working 9 to 6, getting off, going to shoot right away, and then taking like the 9 o'clock bus home, eating, lifting, like all of that stuff. Like, it was crazy. But fast forward through that, I found an opportunity, and I felt called to move out west. Like, that's always been the dream. So I was looking at California. I interviewed at a few jobs. I was also interviewing at a big company in Minnesota at Target, and luckily I had a few interviews there, and luckily I didn't take that. I took the risk, and I jumped to this agency here in Phoenix. I had never been to Arizona. I didn't even know there were mountains here. I knew nobody here, and I moved in 2 weeks, and I had no money saved. Like, I probably had $1,000 to my name. So I get to Arizona, and I made it a goal to talk to one new person every day, like meet one new person every day. So I just I was just networking on Instagram, and actually I should get back into that, because that that did so much for me. Like, those connections that I made are still clients today, friends today. Like, there's just so, like, it was just so beneficial for me, and I'm glad that I did that. But when I moved here, I was living in an Airbnb for like 4 months, and it was like a sketchy part of town. It was like $900 for this room. I had like this tiny little like mini fridge, and I didn't even have like my own kitchen. It was crazy. But it was like a shared kitchen, shared bathroom kind of situation. But I finally moved into my apartment, and so I was hired on as a social strategist. I'm like, finally, dude, I can finally like, plan strategy, make content calendars, like actually work in the social space, which is what I enjoy doing and what I wanted to do. And so I did that for about a year and a half. And at the same time, still running Exceed, still doing freelance, like had way too many, like had definitely a lot of plates in front of me, right? A lot of things I was juggling at once, and it felt kind of crazy. But, it didn't feel like I wasn't like burnt out or anything like that, like I was when I was in Minneapolis. Like I felt a lot happier, and I think it's just like 100% due to the fact that I'm living here in Arizona, and like blue skies, sunny every day, and that's so important. But anyway, I started to get noticed by senior leadership, and they asked me if I wanted to transition into this new role as a content creator, and I was like, dude, hell yeah. And I did that, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. So more recently, I realized that if I really want to get to the level that I know that I can get to, that I expect myself to get to, I need to be 100% in this. And this is the first time in my life that I've had that realization that, you need to be 100% in this, because I'm in debt. I got school debt. I'm not where I want to be financially. I'm not where I want to be with my business. I'm not where I want to be as a content creator. So why am I also trying to grow this brand at the same time? Because 10 hours towards, designing, printing, shipping, working on the website, doing whatever it is with Exceed, and it's dope, and it's so fun, and it's so fulfilling, and I love it. Like I love it, but if I can make double, triple the amount of money that I'm making doing content, why not do that? Get out of debt and become a better content creator. Continue to produce content for my own personal brand, build my audience, build my brand, build my community, and like my own little like atmosphere, like my own little like universe, right? And do clothing later, pick up Exceed later. It's just a shift in gears, and so much of my ego was attached to that. And I had a men's retreat in September of last year that during COVID, actually once we were out of lockdown, but at a men's retreat that really like helped me realize that and surrender to that and come to terms with it. So it was dope, and that's kind of where we're at right now. So I know that was a lot, but that's kind of why, YouTube was on pause. I was focusing on the business. I was working at agencies. I was like just doing too much at once, and it didn't feel like I had time to do YouTube. And so, it is an excuse, but we're back, and I'm not going to dwell on the past. We're just going to keep rolling, keep moving forward. So anyway, recently a lot has been teaching me, like life has been teaching me how fragile this is. And not only the pandemic in 2020 and just like losing loved ones and people in your life, or like people that you went to school with, it's crazy. It's fucking crazy, dude. But my parents and my grandma have been pretty sick for the last month. Like my mom is still on and off kind of sick, and not going to go into the details, but it's like, fuck, dude, I'm over here in Arizona, like 3.5 hours, 4 hours away flight, and it's like not knowing what's going on, because they're in the hospital or whatever, the emergency room, like they're only going to let one person in, and my parents they're not super fluent in English. But it's like trying to figure out, it's like trying to figure out what is going on, and like trying to be up to date with, you know, if they're okay. And when I was just like stressful, dude, it's probably like one of the worst months of my life, like, or in a while for sure. But it just made me realize, like, I've been taking so much for granted. Like, I feel like a lot of us do too, because we're not, you know, a lot of us, if we grew up easy and didn't, you know, you grew up in a good like household, and your parents, you know, you didn't have like these you know, issues at home that other kids have to deal with. It's like you don't know adversity, like you don't know these struggles that people deal with or what people are going through. And then when you go through it, it's like you have such a greater, you have like way more of a like an appreciation for life, and it makes you want to just like push so much harder and control what you can. And that's what I realized, like seeing, like FaceTiming, you know, my parents and seeing, you know, what they were going through, and knowing that there's literally nothing that I could do. Like, I could fly home easily and be there, but I can't do anything to, like, I can't cure them. Like, I can't heal them, right? Like, I'm calling every day, and I'm there, and maybe it's helping them mentally, and I know it is, right? But you get what I'm saying. And so when I can't control that, it's like, dude, I start eating like shit. I start skipping workouts. I start feeling lazy. And like, you definitely need to have time to heal, and you need to, you know, take care of yourself and know your limits, and know when you should just like decompress or be alone or do whatever you gotta do, right? But it gets to a point when you know that, all right, what is actually going to make you feel better? You know what I mean? And if a workout's going to make you feel better, go do that workout. If it's going outside, if it's eating right, if it's like having discipline in your life, some sort of momentum that you can control through your choices, it's just going to, like, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to be a lot more capable of handling whatever situation is going on. And I applied that, and I did that, and it feels a lot better. I feel happier, I feel more grateful every day. Like, you never know who you could lose or what people are going through. And so it's like, live every day in the best way that you can. I'm not like out here pretending like I'm killing it or anything like that, but that's just what I've learned from it, and that's what I strive to do. Not every day is like that, but that's what I'm trying to do. So anyway, lastly, how I feel about professionalism. Now, I'm not going to talk about why this is coming up, but like working at several different agencies, and like just being around like people, you know, in, you know, mid 40s, mid 50s, like people a lot older than you or around your age. It's like, all right, guys, it's 2021, right? Like, looks, how you dress. Okay, let me say this. How you dress is important. Like, don't be jumping onto a meeting or going to meet up with a client and wearing like sweatpants, right? Like, that part's important. But like, I'm talking about like tattoos or, you know, your hairstyle or whatever. Like, you know when people are judging you based off how you look, and judging your intelligence or your professionalism based on how you look. And I just think that's bullshit. Like, that same person judging you could go and talk shit about a team member, and that person might hold a very high position in that company. That's not professional to me. That is more unprofessional than me wearing a snapback or ripped jeans, right? Like, and I'm not saying this is the situation I'm in currently. It's just, I've been in this situation before, and I've wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to like post about it, but it's like, you post about it on Instagram, it's like no one really cares. It's like, dude, what are you talking, like, what happened? You know what I mean? And no one's gonna really, like, I feel like for me, you know, it's like, I just don't want to put out that negativity, but in a long form like podcast like this, like, I want to talk about it because it's important. I think like a lot of times I've felt like, oh, I don't want to wear these kind of earrings, or I don't want to like dress this way, or, you know, I don't want to show my tattoos because I don't want people to think I'm uncomfortable or I'm unprofessional or whatever they might have. But a part of me has always, and the reason why I like getting tattoos and I look the way I do is because I want to be that counterculture. Like, I want to be the person that proves that stereotype wrong. And there's a lot of people doing it now. Like I said, it's 2021. It's like how you carry yourself, how you interact with people, how you treat people, how you run your business, your integrity with your work, how much you care about your career, how you communicate. That's what determines professionalism, not how you dress, how you look, what you listen to, like the way you talk. Like, the way you talk in communication. Being like timely and just like not letting things slip. How you talk, like not having to use like, I don't know how, like, not having to use like these big words and try to be something you're not. Like, and I feel like I've seen that so many times, and it's so cringy. Like, it's like, I know you don't talk like that. Why are you talking like that? Just because you're on this, like, yeah, it's cringy. But anyway, I know most of you guys that are watching this are going to agree with it anyway. It's more of like the different generations that don't really know that, and also like the younger generations, right? Like, there's also, I think there's you have to know like your limit. Like, if you're gonna be a part of a company and like have like neon green hair, and you are like literally like, when you stand out, and if you're gonna do that, you gotta make sure like your work is like 150%, because otherwise you are proving that stereotype right for whoever is judging you. So stand out, be unique, be yourself, be authentic, but you better make sure that what you bring to the table is like above and beyond, because people are gonna judge you. Everyone judges people. I judge people, but you gotta let your work speak for itself sometimes. And so that's what I gotta say about professionalism. But anyway, just to close up, I don't want this to be too long, but yeah, I look forward to putting out more podcast episodes. I don't know really the cadence I'm gonna do yet, but I'm just gonna have fun with it. Like I said, we're just gonna vibe out, and I expect this to be very therapeutic for myself, and it's more of like a selfish reason why I'm doing this. But I also want to connect with you guys, and I'm not gonna, of course, like, I'm gonna talk about things that are going on in my life currently, because I'm clearing my headspace, but I want to also clear your headspace. So I'm gonna post on my socials, and kind of do like a poll or like a vote, question box, whatever. And I want to talk about topics that are on your guys' minds too. And later down the road, I'm gonna have guests. I'm gonna talk to other people and kind of pick their brain and just hang out and just get to know people and offer different perspectives, because life, again, is so fragile. And we live in this world where it's like so focused on the internet, and like social media is so big and so much a part of everyone's life, and we feel so connected and we see everything that's going on. But there's so many people that are just like, and myself included, like just watching what's happening and not really connecting with people. And it felt like a void in my life where like I know that I can connect with people, but I wasn't doing it. So that's what we're doing, and that concludes episode 1 of A Clear Headspace. Thank you guys for joining. It's going to be up on YouTube. I'm going to figure out how to get it up on like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that other stuff. So cool. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys on the next one.